What is up, guys? Welcome to the Cold Takes podcast, and today we have another long-term video where we're going to look at the top 25 players in the current NBA. Last week we looked at the top 25 players of all time, so this week we're going to look at the top 25 players in the current NBA. Much like I said last week, my list has the least amount of credibility here. I watch very little basketball. I've started to watch more over the past 2 years, but I watch very little basketball. So again, take my list with a grain of salt. But as always, we got our co-hosts. To the right of me, we got Sneakwolf, and underneath me, we got Zach. I hope that's right on the overlay.
That is not right. You are in the bottom middle.
Oh,
Zach
okay,
is
I tried.
Zach is above you to the right. I'm above you to the left.
There you go. That's the problem. It wouldn't be a podcast without me messing something up. So there we go. But yeah, before we begin, I think there's only one thing I wanted to talk about, and that was the announcement of the actual NBA date. The season has been announced as starting on December 22nd. We are little over a month away from the start of the NBA, and I'm sure you guys are excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm hyped.
Excited to see what happens in free agency,
which will be talked about next week on the podcast as free agency starts this upcoming week, correct?
Yeah, I think 1 week from today.
I'm excited for the draft.
Oh, so it won't be on next week's podcast. It'll be the following week's podcast. Because it would start a week from today. But no. Anything else to talk about before we hop in?
Nope. I think I'm good.
No.
No?
We Gucci.
Oh, okay, let's hop in and start right at number 25, and I will go first.
I'm pretty sure me and Roy both have honorable mentions.
Yes, we do have honorable mentions. I also have one. I just didn't write it down. I have one, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the Roy's, but my honorable mention was Zion. Zion did not make my list, and I actually asked Roy before going into the podcast if he had Zion on his list, but I contemplated putting him on, and he deserves an honorable mention. Man's unreal, and it's going to be really interesting to see him play going forward.
All right.
So that's mine.
Yeah, I have him on my. I have a ton of honorable mentions. Just a bunch of guys that didn't make it. I got Bam Adebayo, got Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons, Ja Morant, had Zion, T.J. Warren because he balled out in the bubble, Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, and Rudy Gobert. I probably missed some that are kind of close to top 25 as well, because there's a ton of players that are kind of right there.
There's a ton that are right up there. I limited myself to two honorable mentions, who are Jamal Murray and Kyle Lowry.
Ooh.
Jamal Murray, I really wanted to put on my list, but I just want to see more from him first. I know because he's kind of blown up lately. I mean, he's been good for a while, but he's kind of like cemented himself lately. So this season coming up, I want to see.
Okay.
But, yeah.
That's fair. Okay. We're going to start with my 25th pick, and I got Jayson Tatum. Leading the Celtics in scoring 25. with 23.4 points. Wow. And he led the Celtics with 23.4 points per game, and he led them in three-point shooting percentage at 40%. Tatum showed that he has what it takes to lead the Celtics through the playoffs in the future.
I got him a lot lower on mine.
Same.
Oof.
My 25 is Pascal Ciaco. I had like him and Lowry kind of at the 25 spot. But if we're talking like regular season, Siakam had another great year, improved a lot more. He just didn't do great in the playoffs, which was a little disappointing. But yeah, it's my number 25.
My number 25 is Rudy Gobert. Already mentioned. Yeah. Former Defensive Player of the Year. He's the best rim protector in the league. Could be a lot higher on the list if he could play offense, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't include him. He's too boring for me.
And he doesn't deserve to be on the list after what he did this year.
Oof. Yeah.
Man's a super spreader. No. Okay. Moving on to number 24, I have Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal was the number 2 points per game player in the league last season, behind just James Harden. Bradley Beal can do almost anything on the offense, even with a rather poor squad around him. Once John Wall returns, it is quite possible that you could see Bradley Beal much higher on these lists.
I got Chris Paul at number 24. I would have liked to have him a little higher, but I mean, his stats aren't all there. It was a great season by the Thunder. They took the Rockets to Game 7, where everybody thought the Rockets would have pretty much swept them. And going into this season, people didn't even have Chris Paul in their top 50. But I got 24 here.
My 24 is also Bradley Beal. Incredible offensive player. Dragged the terrible Wizards to a much better record than they deserved. And any contender looking for a scoring option should really take a serious look at Bradley Beal.
Fair. Okay, number 23 is the second Boston Celtic to appear on my list, in Kemba Walker.
Kemba, he was going to be an honorable mention for me too.
Yeah,
but,
Kemba is also a part of the Boston Celtics team, like Jayson Tatum, but Kemba is the current leader of the team, and without Kemba's experience and guidance,
behind Tatum, yeah, he's the current.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to see how far the Celtics would have gotten in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, Tatum's better than CP3.
A four-time All-Star. Kemba averaged 20.4 points last season on a rather dominant Celtic team.
Well, don't agree with you there, but
yeah, I definitely don't agree with you there. Kemba's a good player, but Tatum's better, and
yeah,
I might disagree with that one.
For my 23, I got Jamal Murray. They balled out in the playoffs. Helped the team quite a bit to come back from 2 3-1 deficits. So I had to put him in here just because of that playoff performance. If it weren't for that, then he wouldn't be in the top 25.
Exactly why I just had him as a honorable mention. I want to see a little more, which I think I'll see. My 23 is Pascal Ciaco.
Shit.
How high do you have? You have him high, eh?
Much higher than you do.
I just put that his postseason was less than stellar, but he's incredible in transition, and he's proved himself as a postseason threat, just as a more of a second seed than top player. And he's still got a lot of potential to grow. I think he's a late bloomer, so we'll see.
Sure. Number 22.
At number 22, I got Karl Anthony Towns, a former number 1 overall draft pick. Cat has lived up to the hype, averaging 22.7 points over his career and having the best season of his career last season, averaging 26.5 points. But he only played 35 games. Cat continues to be the best player on the Timberwolves, and it looks like that will continue going forward.
All right. For my next 4 players, they're all on terrible teams, but they're great players. Starting at 22, I got Trey Young.
Oh, that's one I should have. I have had as an honorable mention too.
Okay. He had a great season.
He did, but he's on an awful team.
Yeah, his team is just terrible. He needs quite a bit of help there, and he'd go up the list a lot more if he was on a better team.
Okay. My 22 is Chris Paul. CP3 is the ultimate point guard and leader for your team. When you think of the point guard mold, it's Chris Paul. He's late in his career, but did a lot for the Thunder. So yeah, I think if he goes to Phoenix, like a lot of people are saying, he may actually turn them into a playoff team.
Oh,
I think he will turn them into a playoff team for sure. It's just where they're going to fall in the playoffs.
That's a perfect segue into my number 1 at CP3, or my number 21 at CP3. Chris Paul may be the oldest player on his team, but that doesn't mean he isn't OKC's best player still. Helping lead Shea Alexander, can't pronounce his middle name, Shea Alexander and Dennis Schroeder to career years.
It's
That's
his last
Gilgeous.
name. It's not his middle name.
Oh,
it's his
Shai
last.
Gilgeous-Alexander.
when I looked at it, it was hyphenated between
Yeah, it's just
Shea.
it's just a hyphenated last name. It's not his.
No, it didn't
Gilgeous,
show.
Gilgeous
Yeah.
and Alexander is hyphenated.
Yeah, the site I
Yeah.
was looking at had it hyphenated between Shea and Gilgeous.
Oh,
Oh, that's why I was confused. But he helped lead Alexander and Gilgeous Alexander and Dennis Schroeder to career years in 2019 and 2020. CP3 still shows that he has gas left in the tank, and he still belongs in the top 25. CP3 averaged 17.6 points last season and averages 18.5 points over his career.
at 21, I got Devin Booker. I would like to have him a lot higher. He's a great player. Went off in the bubble, led the Suns to an 8-0 record, but unfortunately, just the team isn't great. And
Yeah.
that's why he's so low. He'll definitely go up throughout his career. He'll be a lot higher on this list.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that too. But my number 21 is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, I want to put higher because he's the best player on a good team, and he's also his second best player he's also the best player on a team that has Rudy Gobert. I don't really see much of him. I mean, he had a crazy playoffs, but he also blew a 3-1 lead. But he's an incredible athlete and a really a gifted scorer, so I have him at 21.
Sounds good. My 20 is Joel Embiid. When Joel Embiid is on the court, the man is dominant. He is by far the best player on the 76ers when he is healthy, and he can do it all on the court. Last season, Embiid averaged 23 points over 51 games over his 6-year career, in which he has only played 4 years because he was injured for the first 2 years of his career. He has averaged 23.9 points and 11.5 rebounds.
Well, I got him quite a bit higher.
Yeah, so do I.
He could have been higher than my next two.
A lot higher.
Or 3.
A lot higher.
Or
Quite a bit
4.
higher.
Yeah, I could have had him at 16, but
I have him higher than that, but you'll see.
At number 20, I got Bradley Beal. Realistically, I got him one spot above Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is the better player, but a lot has to do. I mean, they're both on bad teams, and then I think Bradley Beal just had a slightly better year this year. Went off in terms of scoring, and there's just no help on his team.
Yeah. I think a lot of those numbers, though, have to do with the fact that the Wizards were insane offensively and absolutely garbage defensively.
Yeah, for sure.
But I have number 20. I have Jayson Tatum. And I want to put him a lot higher because I think he's an insane talent and should have been the number 1 pick in his draft year. But and he's shown to be the best player on a really good Boston team with a lot of really good players. I just want to see him take the next jump and become that leader on his team. Again, he's still young, so he's got a lot of time. And I think when a lot of these players get older and retire, he'll be a lot higher on this list. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay, we go to 19, in which I have Trey Young. .6 points and 9.3 assists in only his second season with the Hawks, being 4th in points per game and 2nd in assists per game last season. Young may not have been the best, may not have the best defensive ability, but is able to hit it from almost anywhere on the court. And with the last season being his sophomore season, things are only looking up for Trey Young.
So you think Trey Young's better than Joel Embiid?
Well, that's why I have him higher.
Like right now? Oh my god, that's wild.
At number 19, I got Karl Anthony Towns. Again, like my previous 3 players, he's on a trash team. It's not doing great. But I memean, Cat, he went off from 3 this year, the best shooting big man, taking it to a whole nother level. I think he shot 40% from 3, which is crazy for a big man. Still got some improving to do on defense. And then the team's just got to do a little better.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I've got Devin Booker at 19. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. And him and Tatum, I switched a lot. I just think Devin Booker is just a little better of a player. They both kind of do the same thing scoring wise, and I just think Devin Booker is just a little bit better at it. So,
well, I'll gladly add stats to your number 19 because my number 18 is Devin Booker. And I have Devin Booker as an offensive force. And if you want a perfect example of that, look back at his 70-point game against the Celtics. With the Suns giving him a good supporting cast, it is very scary that what Booker may be able to do in the future. Just look at the Suns bubble run where the Suns were in a perfect 8-0. Booker has averaged 26.6 points over the last 2 seasons and has an average of 22.5 points over his career.
At 18, I got Donovan Mitchell. I mean, best player on his team. They lost in the first round though, but he still went off during the playoffs. During that run, he averaged 36.6 points per game. But yeah, they choked the 3-1 lead, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you can't put that 3-1 lead on him, like closing out that series on him. But
no, I mean
he's a big part of it.
He was doing
yeah,
great.
He's doing incredible. But my 18 is Karl Anthony Towns. Just as Roy said, he's an absolute talent. Like he's an amazing talent. Just playing for a terrible organization and a terrible team. He can score in the post or out at the 3, which for a center, he's like the perfect modern center. At one point, he was the most promising talent in the NBA, and I think that's only faded because of the team he's on. He's continued to get better, so I think I could see him jumping up higher too.
Yeah, for sure. Numero.
So my 17 is
gosh.
Pascal Ciaco.
Oh my god, better than Joel Embiid. Better than Joel Embiid.
Siakam has taken over as number 1 in Toronto, as Siakam has shown to be a capable offensive threat scoring from either inside or outside at will. Last season, Siakam averaged a career high in points with 22.9 points per game and a career high in rebounds with 7.4 a game. People may dismiss him as lower on this list due to this year's playoff run, but one bad playoff run shouldn't affect a player of his talent. Siakam is the future of Raptors basketball.
Yeah, definitely think that's so. There's some other players that have been higher.
Yeah. I mean, he's not lower because of the playoff run. He's lower because he's not as good as Joel Embiid.
Well, my 16 should be higher up too, so we'll get there next.
All right, my 17 is Jayson Tatum. The opposite of what Tanner said. Tanner said Kemba was the best player on the Celtics team. It's Jayson Tatum, and them making the Eastern Conference Finals. The reason why I have him at number 17. Even though, I mean, there's probably some more talented guys that I had below him, but playoff run did it for me.
My 17 is Kyrie Irving.
Ooh.
Kind of a hot take. Maybe some people say he should be higher. I think he's the most talented basketball player maybe to ever touch a basketball, besides maybe Kobe Bryant. There's nothing Kyrie can't do scoring wise. He's taken a little bit of hit in his credibility lately, but a lot of people forget how good he was for those Cleveland teams. He's never played a full season, and he gets injured quite a bit, but he's truly an outstanding player, talent-wise. So, looking forward to see what he can do in Brooklyn.
I have him quite a bit higher on my list.
I'm a little bit higher, not much. At 16, I have Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell has been a fast rising star since coming into the league in 2017, averaging 22.7 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds over the last 3 years. If Mitchell is able to keep improving, keep producing at this rate, it is possible to see those percentages rise and the Utah Jazz improve. It's possible to see Mitchell higher on this list in the next few years.
Respect. Around 16, yeah. I got Klay Thompson at number 16. Injured all of last year. Normally I'd probably have him maybe a few spots higher, but we didn't get to see him play at all. The injury probably won't affect him much. I mean, he's a catch and shooter. He doesn't move around that much on offense. I think. How many points did he score in that one game? And he took like 10 dribble moves.
Oh,
60 something.
60 points and 15 dribbles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna put that in. I'm glad you touched on it.
Yeah, so the injury I don't think will affect him. He'll play great. He's still going to be able to shoot next year, and excited to see how the Warriors do this season.
16.
Yeah.
I got Paul George.
Ooh.
He's a great shooter, great defender. Didn't have a great end to the season, but he was an MVP candidate about like 2 years ago. I just think he seems to not show up in big moments a lot. Like those Pacers years were a long time ago now. So I don't know. I like the player. I like the idea of him, but he seems to have been letting me down lately. So I've got him at 16.
Thanks, Zach, for segueing right into my number 15. Paul George.
Hey,
Paul George
I got
is
him there too.
Paul George is a terror on both sides of the court. George is capable of dropping 20-plus points on a nightly basis while shutting down the other team's best player, averaging 21.5 points last season, coming off a career-high season the season beforehand. Paul George has been dominant throughout his career, and the combo of Paul George and Kawhi is a scary threat in the West. But not the scariest.
Well,
Okay.
I had Paul George as well, and I mean, you guys kind of went over everything. So Zach, you can go to your 15.
My 15 is Klay Thompson. You kind of already went over him. One of the greatest shooters of all time. Doesn't need the ball in his hands. A perfect asset for any coach, any team that they need. He puts up points, and he's capable of getting hot like no one else can in the NBA. Like he'll go 3 games shooting horribly, and then go a game where he basically misses nothing. So he can
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead now.
I was going to say, I will say I have him a few higher, but every list I looked at, none of them had him after the top 20. Like, none of them. He was almost 22 or 23 on every list I looked at.
Yeah, he's generally overlooked because, I mean, he's just, people just think, oh, he's a shooter, but he's a crazy asset to the team. And I don't know, like, I don't know why anyone wouldn't want him. And he always gets overlooked for like NBA all-star teams, NBA all teams, like first team, second team. So I don't know. He's also a great defender, not to mention his offensive abilities.
So next up, we have one of my favorite players in the league, in Nikola Jokic. I probably butchered that.
I have him higher.
This man is one of my favorite players in the league for one reason and one reason only. And it's the amount of Coca-Cola this man drank before getting drafted to the NBA. This man used to drink 3 liters of Coke a day. That's absolutely insane. But getting to his career, the man is a 2-time All-Star at the age of 25, averaging 9.6 rebounds and 17 points a game over his career. The future is looking bright for him.
At my 14, I got Russell Westbrook.
Holy shit.
That's right around where I have him.
When the Rockets went to small ball, it was looking great. Westbrook was playing great. Harden was playing great. And then when the playoffs came around, everybody said they were going to be the Lakers stoppers. Just wasn't the case. Westbrook shot awful again from 3 this year. Even worse in the playoffs as well. Like he shot under 25% from 3 in the playoffs. Just the Houston system did not work great for him. And I think
well, one thing I forgot to mention at the start of the podcast was it's rumored he requested a trade out of
Houston. Yeah, he did.
I meant to mention that at the start. I just didn't remember. So that'll be interesting to see where he lands.
Yeah. Hopefully he comes to the East just because we need some more stars to watch. But
Yeah, apparently they're trying to. The NBA wants them to go to the Knicks, so they got like the New York. You got Durant on the Nets, and then Westbrook
yeah,
on the Knicks for like the
I'm sure.
the
Yeah, they would love
matchup.
that for for
But
ratings.
I don't know what the Knicks are gonna do to be able to get
They
him.
want Van Fleet.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
aren't they about to pay Van Fleet like a buttload of money?
Yeah, but they've definitely got a lot. They cleared up all that cap room for KD, so they got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, 14, Zach.
I have Ben Simmons.
Oof.
You guys I think you guys severely underrated Ben Simmons just because it's a just because he's a meme for the shooting. I think everything. He's an elite defender, passer, and like he's a 6'10" point guard, unstoppable. You can't stop him when he gets to the rim. People just dare him to shoot. So once he figures that out, he's going to be a top 5 player in the NBA. I hope he figures it out. I hope he just starts trying to take shots like Giannis has been doing. But yeah, I think he's an insane talent. Maybe one of the most talented players, like biggest potential in the NBA. So yeah,
I agree with everything you said about him. The only reason I didn't have him on there, I mean, it has a lot to do with the 76ers whole
yeah,
system. It's just not
it's
working
not for
out.
him.
So he's not
Yeah,
doing great right now, but
yeah.
it's not really his fault. It's more.
I
If
don't
you
know. I don't know enough to have him on my list.
if you put him in the LeBron system and you give him just shooters, which the 76ers have no shooters,
Yeah.
he's incredible.
Yeah.
You can't stop him going to the rim, and if you do, chucks it out. Like James Harden, LeBron, you give him the ball, I think that's where he's used perfectly. But yeah,
Yeah.
on to
Sure.
13.
13, I got Kyrie Irving. It's hard to rank Kyrie, especially after coming off an injury season, but Kyrie is undeniably one of the greats in the league, capable of dropping 50 points on any night and making defenders look bad. Kyrie is an offensive beast and one of, if not the best ball handler of all time in the NBA. Kyrie has averaged 22.4 points over his career. It would be really interesting to see how much better he would have done had he not been so injury prone.
13, I got Joel Embiid. My opinion, or I think he's definitely the better player on the 76ers. We were saying before they're probably gonna trade one of them or do something with one of them, try to fix up the whole system. Who do you think if they had to get rid of one player, who do you think they should get rid of?
I would get rid of Ben Simmons because I think the team is built for Embiid. I think if you get rid of Embiid, you have to rebuild
Trust the
your team.
process.
You have to
Trust the
rebuild that.
process.
You have to rebuild that team. But I think if they go get, I mean, like they've got Tobias Harris, and I think if they go get, if they were to trade like Ben Simmons for Devin Booker, that would be perfect. And then
You'd
if you were to
cry.
trade, if
You'd
you were to
cry.
trade, no, because I think Ben Simmons is a great player too, and he'd be great on Phoenix. But then I think also if you traded Joel Embiid and they got Ben Simmons, that would work perfectly too because he's a great shooter. Or for Devin Booker. So I don't know. I would trade Ben Simmons, I think. But,
Yeah, I agree on that. Keep Embiid. Second best center in the league.
oh yeah, and he's super talented, and I'll get to that later. But my 13 is Russell Westbrook. He's an insane talent, super athletic. The knee surgeries are holding him back a bit, but he still looks incredible. I just think for me, he's super inefficient. He's not my favorite player just because I hate the efficiency problems. He can't shoot the ball, and he just keeps shooting the ball. They kind of fixed it for a bit in Houston, but then he just goes right back to doing it, and it's the mindset a little. I get he wants to attack all the time, but it's like you got to stop shooting. You can't do it, so it's like
Yeah, because when he was just attacking the rim this season, he was doing great. Rockets were doing great, and then stopped doing it.
yeah.
But I think that had to do with like Mike D'Antoni. He
Yeah.
No
he
longer
likes
there,
shooting
right?
quite a bit. No, he's
he's gone.
out of there now.
Okay, we got my number 12, and I got Klay at 12. One of the two Splash Bros. Klay is one of the best NBA shooters of all time. Klay is capable of dropping 30 points in a single quarter. When he isn't shooting threes, Klay is doing it on defense to the point where he could be considered an all-defensive player. Klay shoots an impressive 49% from 2 and 41% from 3. Klay is incredible to watch, and like Roy mentioned earlier, it's going to be really exciting to watch the Warriors this season.
All right. At 12, I have Kyrie Irving, and
Ooh.
I think you had him earlier, right, Zach?
I had him at 17.
Yeah.
I had him at 13.
Oh, okay. But as you said, he's very talented. He's a very talented player, and like the past 2 seasons have shown that he's not really the number one guy. He can't really be the number one option on a team. He needs someone else. Durant's going to be there next season, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out.
Oh, I think he's going to be incredible. If KD is who I hope he's going to be, I think Kyrie's going to be incredible because as a number 2 on Cleveland, he was insane.
Yeah, it's going to be same on the Nets as long as Kevin Durant returns the same.
Yeah. My number 12 is Joel Embiid. He's got insane back to the basket game. Post moves are insane. My only beef with Joel Embiid is that he's always hurt and he's always out of shape. And sometimes he looks like he's not trying. I know he is trying, but like sometimes he just looks like he's not interested. Like he doesn't want to be there. But yeah, if he gets in shape and he stays healthy, he's an insane threat.
Sounds good. I'm going to number 11, and I got Damien Lillard. Lillard is considered one of the best clutch player or shot makers in recent history. Lillard is a 3-time All-Star that has led the Trailblazers since being drafted in 2012. Lillard was 3rd in points per game this season, just 0.5 behind Bradley Beal at 30 points per game. Over his career, George has averaged 20. I don't know why I put George. Lillard has averaged 24.2 points a game.
At my number 11, I got Nikola Jokic. Best center in the league, crazy playmaker. His little shuffle shot is unstoppable. It looks awful, but I mean he hits it every time. And
the little tomahawk.
Yeah, nobody can do anything about it. He led the team to the conference finals this year. Came back from 2-3-1 deficits in the playoffs. I got him at number 11.
My number 11 is Luca Doncic. And you could argue he could be a lot higher on this list. I mean, it's only his second year in the NBA and he's dominating.
Yeah.
A lot of me having him at 11 is it's his second year. I want to see a couple more years of like sustained dominance before I can put him in Harden, Steph, like names like that. But yeah, I mean, the only beef I have with him a little bit is that he hits threes, but he's a little inefficient. He's not a great 3-point shooter.
Not very efficient.
So if he gets that up, he's the face of the NBA for the next. Maybe not the face because the NBA doesn't like to make Europeans the face, but I think he's going to be the best. Maybe I think he's going to be better than Giannis at one point. I'll just say it here. But yeah,
I can see him getting up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got number 10, and I got the triple-double machine himself, Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is a constant threat to drop a triple-double on teams, being one of the only players to ever average a triple-double over his career in a single season. So Westbrook is definitely a top 10 player in the league currently. Over his career, Russell Westbrook has averaged 23.2 points, 8.3 assists, and 7.1 rebounds.
I would argue definitely a top 10. But at my number 10, I got Damian Lillard. Second, or I guess, what do you consider Luca? Is he considered a point guard or?
He is a point guard, I think. I think he plays the point. I mean, he's probably like like shooting guard height, but
Yeah,
he plays point guard. Like
I
he's
mean,
not.
yeah, if we're including Luca as a point guard, then Lillard, I have him as the third best point guard in the league. Um, he's not the greatest on defense. That's kind of like the only area he has to improve, and it's not great for him on the Trailblazers. I don't think him and CJ make the greatest duo on a team, just for the
Yeah,
fact that neither of them are great on defense.
yeah. I mean, Dame's also tiny,
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to defend.
but yeah, he's been having some great seasons.
Mm.
Just barely making the top 10 for me.
My number 10 is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is someone who I don't think a year ago would have made many people's top 10s. Uh, his move to Miami has been incredible for his career. That team looks insane. He's kind of fast tracked them on their rebuild. He's probably the hardest working player in the NBA right now. And he's probably got one of the coolest stories, if you know anything about his story. Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Okay. We're on to number 9 now. And I have my boy, Luca.
Hey,
Doncic is doing things for the Mavericks that haven't been seen since LeBron. Luca has been in the NBA for only 2 years now and has had an absolute dominant season last season with 28.8 points per game. Over Luca's 2-year career, he's averaged 24.7 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. Luca looks to be the future of the NBA, and as a Mavs fan, I am excited. Go Mavs.
I got him at number 9 as well. And pretty much said everything.
Yeah, my number 9 is someone you guys have both talked to about already, Jokic.
Ooh.
I've got him high because I really like he's the best passing center that's ever been in the NBA. I think
Yeah,
he's
for sure.
he's insane passing and he's an insane scorer, a great shooter. A little out of shape, but it doesn't seem to bother him. He's played deep into overtimes and still been the best player on the court. So, yeah, I got him at number 9.
Okay, number 8, and I got Jimmy Butler. Helping lead Miami to the finals. Butler was dominant in the bubble. Butler led the Heat in scoring with 19.9 points, assists with 6 assists, steals with 1.8 steals, and free throw attempts with 9.1 per game. Butler has been a great success thus far and will continue to dominate with the Heat.
Well, I got him at number 8 as well. Got two players in the row with the same thing.
Hey,
You guys do your lists together or what?
No.
Tanner cheat the top 15 off you?
No, I had 13 before I started talking to Roy about it.
My number 8 is Damien Lillard. I think he's the second best point guard in the league. He shoots it like lights out from distance, as good as Steph. I think from distance at least. I think Steph's better, just a regular better 3-point shooter. But I think I saw something ridiculous like Dame shot 60% from 40 feet or something like that.
That's ridiculous.
Jeez.
I don't know if that's exact to Steph, but it's something around there. So like it's something nuts. And he's unstoppable on offense. Yeah, Roy said he's not a great defender, but he's also like 6 feet tall. So he's constantly defending people who are much bigger than him, and that's why he's not as good as he could be on defense.
Okay, at number 7, I have KD.
Oh, I got another
much
good pick.
much like Kyrie, Durant is coming off an injury. It's tough to rank him, but it goes without saying that Durant is a top 10 player in the league. If he wasn't injured, I'm sure he would have been in the top 3. Over KD's career, KD has averaged 27 points, 7.1 rebounds, 4.1 assists. KD is about to come back and dominate a rather weak Eastern Conference.
Well, I got him there as well.
Now I know you guys cheated on that one.
Yeah, but like you said, he would be a lot higher. It's just the injury. It's all based on that, like whether or not he's going to come back as good as he was, or if he's going to be, I don't know, like a top 15 player or something, like not scoring as good as he can, because
Now I have I've got him a lot higher.
That Achilles could take a huge
Yeah.
effect with how he plays.
Yeah, I put that out of my mind in making mine just because
True.
I love KD and I love his game, so I just hoping for the best in that case. At number 7, I have Anthony Davis.
Ooh.
As we saw in the playoffs, Anthony Davis is simply unstoppable. Now he's an NBA champion as well. You could argue he should have won the Defensive Player of the Year and the Finals MVP this year. You could say he got robbed on both. I personally think LeBron deserved the Finals MVP, but you could argue that he could have had both. Unstoppable in the pick and roll, an unstoppable defender. I mean, him and LeBron is just looked unfair at some points. So, yeah, I've got him at 7.
I'm interested to see how much longer mine and Roy's streak of picking the same players can go.
Oh, we're
I
gonna find out here.
think it might end here, but at number 6, I have James Harden.
It did not end.
I've got him at 6 too.
Arguably one of the best offensive players in the league. James Harden has been a number 1 player in Houston since joining the Rockets. Harden is the most fouled man in the NBA, which is scary with his ability to shoot. The last 3 seasons in particular have been insane for Harden, averaging 30.4, 36.1, and 34.3 points per game over the last 3 seasons. Harden is absolutely insane.
Agreed. Yeah, we all got him at 6. I just don't think his the way he plays is a winning way.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, he was a meme for the longest time for never playing defense.
Yeah,
he's actually pretty good on defense now.
He's good.
I don't watch enough to know.
He had one of the highest steals per game in the entire NBA.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those are just picking off passes, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think he's a great talent. I mean, nobody exploits the rules ever in the history of the NBA like James Harden.
I actually saw a TikTok about that today.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredible, and I mean, people underestimate like how important free throws are. Like a lot of the times, like if you're shooting the amount of free throws Rockets shoot, then you're winning the game, and James Harden's a big part of that. So, yeah.
Okay, can the streak continue? At number 5, I have Steph Curry.
It continues.
I have it too. All 3 of us again. Yeah, I've got him.
Curry's the best shooter of all time, period. This man is absolutely insane and can shoot the ball from anywhere on the court, making him almost impossible to defend. There's no doubt Curry is a top 5 player in the league, averaging 23.5 points over his career, shooting 51% from 2 and 43% from 3. This man is pure entertainment on the court, and like we mentioned with Klay, this season's going to be mad interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, coming off an injury, but that injury will not affect him at all.
No.
Yeah. He'll come back to just as good as he was before, so. Yeah.
Okay. We got number 4, which I know Zach can't have. So
no.
At number 4.
Oh, then we got the same.
AD.
Yes. Same player.
The number 2 on the Lakers, who would arguably be a number 1 on any other team in the league. AD is an absolute beast on the court and is currently one of the scariest team in the league, averaging 26 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 3.2 assists last season. AD was crucial in helping LeBron get ring number 4.
Facts. All facts. Got him at number 4 as well.
Right, I think we're going perfect on the way out.
When did we? What did we start at? 9.
We started at 8 with Jimmy Butler.
Oh wait, who'd you have at 9?
Luca.
I had him at 9 too.
Okay, so we've been going from 9 down.
9 down, yeah.
You guys cheated. I've got Giannis at number 4.
Ooh.
Which is a bit of a hot take, but Giannis has proved that he's stoppable. 2 seasons in a row now. He's been the best regular season player every year, and then in the playoffs has dominated the teams he should, and then when he needs to step up, kind of gets shut down. I mean, this postseason especially, I know he got hurt, but he wasn't doing great against the Heat anyways. Bam was kind of exposing him, so I don't know. I know that Milwaukee's not the best build for him, and they can definitely be better, but yeah, I've got Giannis at 4 because I think the 3 above him are definitely more proven.
Oh, at number 3, I got Kawhi.
Oh, the streak ends.
Oh,
I've got him. I've got him at 3.
I guess you and I got 3 and 2 flip then, Roy.
Yeah.
The best defensive player in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard is an absolute beast in the NBA. Kawhi is a 2-time final MVP and is dominant everywhere on the court, averaging 27 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 4.9 assists over the last season. Kawhi is one of the main reasons the Raptors were able to win an NBA championship, and he is now responsible for carrying the Clippers with Paul George.
Well, yeah. Almost by himself. Paul George didn't help in the playoffs too much.
Yeah, but they've got a pretty stacked team now as well.
Yeah.
They're pretty deep.
I had Giannis at number 3. Might have been number 2 if it weren't for the fact, like Zach said, he's stoppable in the playoffs. Unbelievable in the regular season, but couldn't get it done as the first seed. So that's why I got him at 3.
Yep. I put Kawhi 1 ahead of Giannis simply for the fact that when they played last year in the playoffs, Kawhi dominated Giannis.
Oh yeah.
Kawhi is what? Freaking 4 inches smaller than Giannis, and they said, Kawhi, you're guarding him, and shut him down, and then also was unreal on offense. So yeah, that's why I've got Kawhi at 3 and not 4.
True. Number 2, I got Giannis. The reigning MVP. Giannis is arguably one of the best players in the league, but there's one better. Giannis's decision following this upcoming season will be almost as big as LeBron's decision back in 2010. Last season, Giannis averaged 29.5 points, 13.6 rebounds, and 5.6 assists, absolutely dominating the East and allowing the Bucks to be number 1 in the East the last 2 years.
I got Kawhi Leonard at number 2. Best defender in the league. He's also a great offensive player. He locks down everybody. When he played Giannis, he can lock down Giannis. When he plays LeBron, he can lock down LeBron. Really no player that he can't lock down. And he could have gone back-to-back if he stayed with the Raptors. But
I honestly think they could have.
I don't know for sure. They definitely would have made the
they definitely get to the finals.
Yeah.
Number 2, I have Kevin Durant, and the reason I have him so high is because I'm basing it off of last time I saw him. He was injured and was dominating the Raptors in the finals for like 3 straight possessions, and also I think he could be the best player in the league when he's 100% healthy. Can't put him at 1 because the person I have at 1 is the reigning king of the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic KD comes back, and I mean, he had teams knowing he had a torn Achilles and selling players to just get a chance to have him on their team.
Yeah,
so
I would have had him at 2 if it weren't for the injury. Like if I was going off when he last played as well, then I'd probably have him at 2 as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I think like the injury, I understand why people take the injury into account.
Yeah.
I'm just being super optimistic. I know Achilles are usually really bad, and especially since he's so big, but I'm hoping for the best.
Yep.
So I think number 1 is rather obvious.
Yep.
The king of the
Kyle
NBA.
Lowry.
Carmelo Anthony. Duh. No, everyone. All 3 of us got LeBron at number 1. LeBron James is the surefire number 1 player in the league, on pace to be the number 1 player of all time. LeBron has and can do it all, even now going into his 18th season in the league. Following his most recent NBA championship win, LeBron has averaged 27.1 points, 7.4 assists, and rebounds over his career. LeBron is undoubtedly one of the best of all time and the best player in the league currently.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think I could have said it better.
Sounds good. That's our
There we
list.
go.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
we're
know
gonna-
I'm gonna get flamed pretty hard.
maybe at the
ours-
start, but
yeah, but after that, I mean, ours was almost the exact same in the top
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
I think maybe a few of yours were a little ambitious. I mean, generally, I think most of us had similar lists. Just the placings were like 2 or 3 off, except for
Yeah.
like a couple of yours, Tanner. But
Yeah, I think we
I mean,
ranked them differently as well.
yeah. Besides the fact that I had Ben Simmons at like 13, and you guys had him at
Not
14,
at
and you guys had him not at all.
Yeah. So that was our list. We're gonna move on to Zach's hot and cold segment. I'll let Zach re-explain the segment for those of you who are new. And yeah, go ahead, Zach.
Okay, so the segment is hot or cold. I make takes that they tell me are either hot or cold if they're good or bad. They tell me why I'm wrong if they think they're bad takes, and I tell them why they're wrong. That's the whole thing. So we'll get right into the first one. I'd rather have Ja Morant than Zion.
I don't know. Zion's a beast.
I really like Zion, but I think as a team, I'd rather have Ja Morant. I think he'd be a better fit for most teams.
I think it's it's so much easier to build a team around a really good point guard than it is a power forward.
Yeah, for sure.
He's also a small power forward. He's also super heavy, and I'm worried about injuries. So if I had to bet my money on one of them, I'd bet it on Ja.
Yeah, it is. But Ja as well, it's kind of scary watching him
Yeah,
go
he's
up
got to
as
learn.
well.
He'll That's an easy fix though. You can't fix
Yeah,
John's
yeah.
300 pounds, and I mean you can, but
Tough.
Everybody thought he was like in really good shape before the bubble, and then he comes in and he looks the exact same.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's also reports on they're trying to teach him how to walk properly. It's
Yeah,
like
he does walk very
yeah,
weird.
they're changing the way he's walk to avoid injuries, and I just think that's like such an unrealistic thing. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
that's
think
gonna
like
be hard to
Yeah.
fix.
Anyways, I kind of went over this already when we were in our list, but I said Luca will be better than Giannis.
I agree.
Tanner agrees because he's a Mavs fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him being better just for the fact that Giannis can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But like if Giannis improved his shooting, because he shot like he's been getting worse at shooting. Like it was like his second or third season, he was hitting a lot of threes, and then his shot motion is completely different now, and can't shoot anymore. And
I think he's just in that in between stage of trying to actually get a proper shot. I don't know.
yeah, because everything else he's great at. Like he's a great inside scorer. He's a great defender. Just that. So yeah, I could see Luca being better, but I think it'll be close between them. Like
Luca for me is just so close to being like the best. Like it's his second year. I think he's just slow and a little inefficient from three. But the fact that he's slow hasn't seemed to make a difference. He's still blowing by people. So I don't know.
I feel like people might figure that out though.
Yeah. But again, I think
without
like
that athleticism.
Yeah. But I don't know. He's super crafty, and I don't know. He said it was harder to score in Europe than it is here. So who knows? Okay, I've got an entertainment one now.
Yeet.
Okay.
Forrest Gump is an overrated movie.
Never seen it. Have no interest in
I
it.
love Forrest Gump. Love Forrest Gump.
I've never seen it. Have no interest in seeing it.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I honestly think.
Tell me why, Roy.
Just Forrest Gump's great. He's a great,
I think,
great character.
I just feel like they're kind of making fun of him the whole movie.
I mean, yeah, they kind of are.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of like it's like one of those movies that people hype up to you, and then I'm like, I watch it and I'm like, this was good, but like, I'm kind of like let down a bit.
That's how I felt with Pulp Fiction. But I'm going to make a hot take here and say that I think, other than in Toy Story, Tom Hanks is extremely overrated.
No, I like Tom Hanks.
No, that's other than in Toy Story.
Other than in Toy Story.
Toy Story is the greatest franchise of all time.
Everything I've seen of him, I pretty much enjoyed.
Yeah, come on, Castaway. Like, he's in a lot of really good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I just not a huge fan.
I don't dislike him. I just think he's overrated.
Saving Private Ryan. Anyways, I'll go on to my next one. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought I went mute.
No.
For my next one, back to basketball. Kyle Lowry is the most underrated player in the NBA.
Facts. Everybody hates on Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, for the longest time, even Raptors fans were hating on him.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I'm not going to answer.
Even now, people still hate on him. Like they don't give him any credit for what he's done with the Raptors.
Yeah, I mean, he built that culture with DeMar DeRozan. I mean, he takes the most blocks out of anyone in the NBA, I think. Like, it's him and someone else.
Yeah.
It's like him and, like, Marcus Smart or something like that.
I was going to say, isn't it Marcus Smart?
But, like, I don't know. He's just he's going to be 38 by the end of his contract or something like that. Like, he's getting older, which is one of the reasons he didn't make my top 25. But, I mean, he still looks ready, still hitting threes. I think the reason people don't, like, give him the credit he does is because he makes a lot of the small plays. The small plays that change a game. He's not, and when he can score when he goes out and he's aggressive, like he can drop 20 to 30, but
yeah,
it's just not really his game.
Agree with that.
My next one, you guys haven't. Well, Roy disagreed with one of them, but other than that, I'm doing pretty well. This one's more for Tanner because I know he likes this.
I'm Tanner.
Yeah.
No, you're Bobathan.
That's true.
Yeah. The How I Met Your Mother ending is not that bad and actually has some good aspects to it.
I 100% agree. I think that... Go ahead.
That doesn't mean it's good. I still think there's some bad things. And I'll tell you what they are before I say why they're good. But you go.
I think that people expected too much from the ending of How I Met Your Mother. I thought... I knew from the beginning... I wouldn't say the beginning. I didn't say I know from season 3 onwards that the mother is going to die. And I don't give a fuck if you're going to spoil... It's 7 years later, or whatever it is.
I haven't watched it yet.
Damn, the mom dies. He's telling his kids about how he met his mom, but about all the chicks he banged along the way.
Yeah, it's quite a weird concept.
Yeah, but it was a good... I like the show. It was in my top 3. It's not anymore. But I just think people expected too much from the ending. I didn't. I think everyone got the right amount of closure. I understand people didn't like that he ended up with Robin, but I in the end I didn't really care. I enjoyed the ending. I liked the wrap up to Barney storyline. I liked that Marshall and Lily ended up in Italy. I liked that Ted ended up, from what I guess, happy. Yeah. And Robin ended up happy too, I guess. Do I think that was the best possible pairing? I mean, the show led up to it. If you didn't see it coming, it was dumb. It was quite obvious. But I don't think it was the best pairing. The relationship was toxic, and I would have liked to see the mom live, but I knew from about season 3 it was coming. So.
Okay, so the reason I think it's a bad ending are two. There's 2 reasons. Well, 3. I think the reason people are mad about the mom dying is because I think they wanted a little bit more time with the mom. She was really only in it for like half a season.
Yeah, I heard that.
Number 2, I hate that Ted ended up with Robin for one reason. They spent the whole 8th season, and I rewatched this recently, the whole 8th and start of the 9th season, telling you why Ted and Robin shouldn't be together. and why it wasn't destiny and stuff like that and how they shouldn't be together. They then spent the whole 9th season playing up Robin and Barney's love until the last 2 episodes where they say, yeah, it's where you see them fighting and then they get divorced. So I think that's why that's the only reason I hate that he ended up with Robin, because you can kind of tell throughout the show that they're kind of going there. But at the end, that's why I think it's bad. What I think is good is that I think a lot of the characters had a lot of things that you wanted to see from them at the end of the show. You wanted to see Barney kind of settle down.
Have the perfect month.
Well, the perfect, I don't care about the perfect month, but kind of settle down and like calm down with his life, which is you could have got that with him and Robin, but they gave it to you in a different way. And they kind of showed how good Barney was with kids throughout the show, so that was a good ending. Ted gets his family. I think Marshall and Lily's story is really good. So, and I do think it's a good ending. I think people just wanted it to be perfect, like the perfect wrap up.
And good luck finding a show that ended perfectly.
The Office has a really good ending.
But
Yeah,
I think
that was good.
I think that I think the biggest twist in people thinking it wasn't going to be Robin was the episode's called like the Symphony of something, and it's the episode where Robin finds out she can't have kids.
Yeah, that's a terrible episode too. It makes no sense in terms of the concept of the show.
I mean, the fact that Robin had her own episode was very weird. I liked the episode as an episode, but to do with the story, it had nothing to do with it.
It just makes no sense that like Ted is telling a story to his kids about Robin telling a story to her fake kids. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. I do enjoy the episode. I enjoy how it ends with Ted just trying to cheer her up, and but I think that was the biggest swerve in people thinking about Ted and Robin, because Robin couldn't have kids, so they couldn't be Robin's kids.
Well, it was also like Robin told him in season 8 that she didn't love him, and then he spent all season 8 getting over that, and then figuring out that they weren't destiny and stuff like that. And then season 9, it's him kind of like still pining over her, but then meeting his wife, like his future wife, and then they're just like, nah, she's dead, and Ted's getting back together with Robin. Yeah. Suck it up. That's where I think people get mad.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The next one, we'll go to football, and before you guys get mad at me, I don't know shit about football. I just figured I've been watching a little more on like First Take and stuff like that to kind of like help out with the podcast, because I know you guys like football, so I've been trying to learn for my hot takes, and it's the only real sport on right now besides soccer, but you guys don't watch.
And F1.
I knew he was going to say that.
And F1, but again, me and Tanner don't watch that either. And golf is on, but I don't think any of us watch golf.
I'm not waking up at 5 or 6:30 tomorrow to watch the fucking F1 races.
Okay. Anyways, Tua will be an elite quarterback.
No, I do not think so.
I don't think so either.
He will live and die in the pit of hell that is Florida, that is Miami. The Dolphins are just, I don't know what is happening right now. The Dolphins are getting lucky. I definitely think that Ryan Fitzpatrick was screwed out of his starting position. He had great games to start, and then they're like, hey, you're on a streak. Fuck you. We're going to pull you and put in this rookie. And reading Ryan Fitzpatrick's like stories about it, it was sad. But no, I think you go to Miami to die. It's just like the Jets. You'll never be number 1 in that division. The next 7 or 8 seasons are going to be the Bills. And if it's not the Bills, it's going to be the Pats if they somehow manage to get Trevor Lawrence at the end of the season. No matter who the Pats pick up, I think without Noon won't be on the team next year. The Pats will have another quarterback, and they'll go back to their dominance.
That's going to be another take I have later.
Oh, okay, but I think the next few years will be led by the Bills and Josh Allen. Even not as a Bills fan, I'm sure Roy could agree. The Bills look like the best team in that division, and Tua is just, I don't think he will be as good as he's hyped up to be.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be as good either, but big respect for him. I think wasn't he like the first player from Hawaii to be like a skilled position?
Yeah, him and then his brother is going to get drafted next season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I made that take after his first game. So
Yeah.
your whole thing about the Dolphins getting lucky, I have no idea about. But
They barely beat the Cardinals last week.
I mean, the reason why I said I think he's going to be elite is because he looked good in that game. He didn't look great in that game, but it was his first game back. I watched like a bit of it. I watched the highlights and stuff, and he got absolutely leveled by Aaron, is it Donald?
Aaron
Aaron
Donald,
Donald, yeah.
Yeah,
He is
and
unstoppable, though.
and he's supposed to be unstoppable, and he took a
He's the
huge hit
top
from.
defensive player in the league.
And so I've heard some people say that like he's up there all time in terms of
Yeah.
defensive
Oh, for
ability.
sure. He's unreal.
So like he's in like JJ Watt's league and stuff like that. So my whole thing is if you can take a hit like that and then shake it off after coming off a really catastrophic injury, then continue to play well and win the game. I don't know. That shows a lot of character to me.
My whole
And
thing.
I know organizations are a big thing in the NFL, so maybe that will be his downfall. But I think his talent and his his character could overcome something like that.
One thing I will say, and with the whole Miami's getting lucky, it wouldn't necessarily be luck. It would be their defense has been overperforming, and their defense has like 21 points a game in the last 2 games. Like their defense and their special teams have just been unreal recently.
Okay. Anything to add, Roy, or no? We're good to go on to the next one.
We're good to go on.
Okay. Futurama is the most underrated cartoon show. Adult cartoon show.
I wasn't the biggest fan, but
Yeah, I didn't watch it too much. I enjoyed it when I watched it, but
It wasn't on. It was on like late, like it wasn't on much. But
yeah,
if you ever have a chance to watch it, it's really funny and it's a really cool concept. But yeah, I know I was gonna skip that one because I wasn't sure if you guys had watched it or anything. But
yeah.
And now on to my last take, which Tanner talked about. The Patriots dynasty is officially over.
I think the Patriots dynasty is over, but I do not think they will be the worst team in the division.
No. I don't think they're going to be the worst. I just don't think they're going to dominate anymore.
I think they will consistently be number 2 behind the Bills.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Josh Allen is going to lead the Bills for the next however many years through the AFC East. And unless they secure someone solid at quarterback, I don't see them being any higher than number 2.
No, it's going to be hard to get a good QB too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be real. Prescott hasn't signed a contract yet. Prescott could go to New England.
But is he going to do that?
Who knows if
Dallas drafts someone a quarterback, then they're projected to have a high pick, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 2-8 right now, I think, or 2-7. But they don't want to pay him what he wants. The reason they were able to keep him is they franchise tagged him, and that let him keep him. And I think after one more year being franchise tagged, he'll get sick of it, and he'll either demand a trade or won't be signed. And that would be the perfect opportunity for Robert Kraft and the Patriots to get a new QB. And it could be a way to keep Belichick from retiring.
Interesting. Anyways, this has been Hot or Cold.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, other than sports, we usually talk about gaming and entertainment, but the only really big thing in gaming is the fact that Roy and I both have our PS5s.
Yeah.
The PS5 and Xbox One Series X launched this week, along with games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Godfall, Demon's Souls Remastered, NBA 2K21 Next Gen, Spider-Man Miles Morales. So it's looking good in gaming right now after a nice little lull where we were bored out of our minds. Oh, and Call of Duty Cold War. Can't forget about that one.
Which looks poo.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's different, and it's not. It doesn't feel like a tryout game.
Same old
but,
COD.
Yeah.
I don't think I can play COD for much longer, just because.
And this going back to why COD is a bad industry from my old takes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the zombies didn't live up to my expectations either. Hopefully it continues to get better, but
lots
who
of people
knows?
love the zombies.
Yeah, I don't dislike it.
The arcade looks kind of cool, but
so yeah, that's been in the game for the last 4 years.
Ops.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was kind of average. They added a lot of stuff, but
yeah,
the map wasn't anything special.
No, I thought it was rather small, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not that big.
I mean, if we look back though, have they really had any good launch maps? Black Ops 1 was 5, and Kino. Kino was probably the last good one.
Good, yeah.
What was just maps in
3?
General?
Launch maps.
I like Shadows of Evil. I know.
I did not like Shadows of Evil.
For zombies or
for zombies.
I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
Shipment was lit last year, but that's not zombies, so.
And that also wasn't a launch map.
Oh, it wasn't launch?
Yeah.
True.
Black Ops 2 had transit and town and farm.
I did like. I like transit. I enjoyed playing transit.
I think transit was very interesting. I think when we were playing transit, I don't think I understood zombies enough, so I don't think I cared. But it was a very good map. Black Ops 3 had Shadows of Evil, which was horrendous.
Love Shadows. Nope.
Black Ops 4 had 9, and there's another one.
Oh yeah, that ship one. The one that on the boat one sucked. That was awful.
9 wasn't awful, but it wasn't great.
It was cool to do the Easter egg, but other than that,
they fought a giant zombie elephant.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now we got Die. I don't know how to know.
Die Machine or something.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I definitely wouldn't put it last. I would put Shadows of Evil at last. I know Roy disagrees, but this would probably be 4th for launch zombies. Yeah. Oh no, I'd put that stupid boat one for Black Ops 4.
Oh yeah, I'd put that last.
And then Shadows, then this.
I'd put that 9. Then maybe this.
Yeah, I know Zach's not a big COD player, so.
Yeah, I couldn't name any of those maps.
COD saved their franchise with Warzone. Otherwise, it would be dead. Not a single person would be buying this game.
Warzone. Well, I mean, I disagree with that.
Warzone's free.
Yeah, Warzone's free. So, I disagree with that.
But I think they gave it a lot of hype to Call of Duty.
It was like it was kind of like Warzone was like the reason why.
I think people only bought this game because of zombies. I truly believe that, and maybe the campaign.
Like multiplayer is bad now. Like it's gone.
It's the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
And the fact that they continue to push skill-based matchmaking the way they do. We used to go in and dominate, and then the next game, oh shit, we're still dominating. Now you have one good game, and your next 7 are horrendous.
Yeah, it's not fun. No matter what skill level you're at, you can't really have a good game because everybody's the same skill as you.
Yeah.
Well, we're never getting a COD partnership. But after we just roasted them for. No, I'm just kidding. Anything else in gaming? I don't know.
No. Cyberpunk got delayed. I'm sorry if you haven't got your PS5s. The only reason I have mine is because of Smeagol. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have a PS5. Mine's expected to arrive on Monday, but Smeagol already gave me one, so he's getting that one on Monday.
Bought another PS5 to play it like 8 hours before I got mine.
Yeah, but in your defense, it was projected not to come till Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't know when it was gonna come.
had you known it was coming the next morning, you probably would have waited.
I gotta put I might put yours up today on like Kijiji to see if anybody wants to put it on hold.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's actually a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanner, you want to do your questions?
What are we at time-wise?
Like
He doesn't want to do them.
an hour. We're at like an hour 15 now.
That's why I asked. I can do them next week. We'll do them next week for
Do
sure.
them next week. Yeah, because next week we don't have a full
Yeah, we don't have a
25
list.
top 25 list. So
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully someone made it this far. I mean, our last NBA list did pretty well, so I'm hoping this one does too. But you guys might also get to the point where, oh, your lists are done. Okay, bye. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. If you liked our list, comment on possible lists for the future. Don't roast me too hard about my lists. And
Or just say who you like the best.
And do you guys have anything else to say?
No.
Just follow us on Instagram and Twitter as usual.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you made the TikTok, but if
I
you
did. There's nothing on it, but
there's
it's
nothing on it, but there might be stuff coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya. Actually, peace. Peace. That's what I do in my videos normally.